Australia to Thailand to Brazil. And I was like, I couldn't tell you that. I just didn't realize how much TV had passed. There were 12 winners in the year of 2022 from different franchises all around. That's American Drag Race, All Stars, plus like all the other countries.
Wow. Are you shocked like at that? And like, I mean, Drag Race is winning Emmys, and I'm like, are you shocked at like what it is today?
I don't know. I don't know if I'm shocked. I'm pleased because I love seeing more opportunities for people like us. You know, we are queer people that have stories and have trauma and have experiences like anyone else, and we're being seen less as clowns and more as people that love to entertain, that love to tell a story and use that story through music and through dance and through performance and lip sync. You know, we've had this massive increase and we've seen this rise of TikTok since 2020 when everyone was at home. And TikTok is a lot of lip syncing, and it is a different art form. It's something different. I don't just lip sync, you know, I obviously sing as well. But I think all of that has kind of like transcended Drag Race. It's taken it to the next level of like making it pop culture. But also, how cool of a world do we live in where drag queens are celebritized and like part of, you know, culture and media, where, you know, it's we're not being shamed, we're being lifted up. If you think about 10, 20 years ago, I mean, drag for the most part wasn't underground necessarily, but you know, if I were to go on a date 20 years ago and tell a guy I was a drag queen, usually there's not going to be a second date there. Like, I'm happy to see where the world is.
I would agree with that. And do you find like it's in now it's come far, or is it almost like the opposite now, where if you're like, wait a second, I'm a drag queen, and by the way, I was on Drag Race. I mean, now do you find this whole new list of people that are waiting at the door of like, really? You were on Drag Race? Well, let's talk about that the whole date.
Dating's interesting. Let's just say that. I was with my ex-partner through all of Drag Race, both seasons, and touring and learning, which I'm grateful for because I kind of had somebody consistent by my side. But then we decided to go our separate ways, and I have so much love in my heart for him. But I had to like figure out how to navigate and to meet people, not just dating, but also making friends. And I tell everybody, I was like, I am just a total weirdo and like goofy, silly kid. And I put on a wig and some lipstick every once in a while. And yeah, I was on a TV show once, but like, who cares? You know, like at the end of the day, we're all just people. And there are some people that get that, and there are some people that are still very excited by, you know, what it is that I've done and what I do. And I get that, but I really love the people that just like to see me for me. It's harder to find sometimes, but I've also said too, like I'm a very positive person. I've also said it's it's like my superpower, because if you meet somebody and you're not meant to be, you're not supposed to be friends, you're not supposed to be romantic, sometimes the process is elevated or escalated a little bit quicker for me because it's harder to let down those walls and you get to see where people's intentions lie. So sometimes it's like a superpower because instead of taking months to realize this person isn't for me, it happens after a couple days to weeks.
You're just on the accelerated track.
Always. I feel like I'm always like riding the Excella train from like DC to New York, like back and forth, like here we go.
Well, what is going on? I mean, you say dating is strange. What is going on with your accelerate? I mean, single, dating. What would you like to tell us here today, Blair?
I don't know exactly. I'm kind of in a situationship, so I don't really know where it's going. Yes, technically I am single. I'm seeing people, but I did after I got sober, I did like a year of zero dating, zero boys, nothing. Did like another year of like folk now like we're like all gung ho, like really focused on myself, career stuff. So it's been the first time in like a couple of years where I've actually been interested in meeting somebody. But I've also gained really cool insight too, where if I happen to be single for forever, which I know is not the case, what's so wrong about that? Like I like being alone. I like my alone time. I like being on my own. It wouldn't be so bad if I were. So, um, but yes, to answer the gossip mills, I am seeing someone or some couple people and enjoying what that is. It's been a weird, it's been really strange. I've gone on so many bad dates, so many. I actually was talking with a friend about writing a book about like all of the bad dates I've been on, and bad experiences, but there's also like great ones too.
You should write a book on that.
I mean, you would be shocked at like how like some things that people say and things that what happens on like a bad date. I Yeah, it just sometimes there's someone for everyone out there. Um and I've learned that sometimes some of those people just maybe aren't for me.
That's a nice way to put it. Where do you think Drag Race is? Kind of the same question I asked you about Broadway. Like, where do you think Drag Race is now? Like, it's come under like throughout the seasons, like so much scrutiny, like RuPaul specifically, and just the whole show of like, diversity, inclusion of like all aspects of our wonderful rainbow and, trans and non-binary. And like, where do you think it is now?
I think Drag Race has changed a lot, because drag has changed a lot. And that's just like anything. Fashion changes, hair, color, style changes, if it wasn't changing, there'd be something wrong. I think it's amazing to see how open and diverse Drag Race is. I mean, amongst all the franchises, we've had your traditional drag queens, we've had trans men, trans women, we've had non-binary people, we've had AFAB queens, which means assigned female at birth, and drag is for everybody. At the end of the day, everybody in this world, whether you identify as a drag artist or not, is doing drag of some sort. When you go out at the end of the night, for an evening, and you're going to the theater, you're going to the club, and you put on, your Sunday best or whatever, you're going out. That's your drag. That's your something to make you feel good, to make you exude whatever it is that you want to, what you're wearing, or like this presence that you put on to go somewhere. Or sometimes it's at home, and everyone does drag. So now we're seeing what that is to a performance level, because it is for everybody. And who are we as queer people to say that we want exception and inclusion, from everyone, if we are going to police who can and can't do drag? It would be really hypocritical. So I love seeing the transformation of Drag Race incorporating and including more people, because if they weren't, I would quite frankly be appalled.
What advice, like we're into a new season now, like what advice would you give all these new baby queens as they embark on this
Oh,
journey?
gosh, I a lot have reached out, or I reached out. We have like a small network, there we do talk, we share tips, and the what I tell everybody is that you can't read comments. You want to, and you're going to, but you shouldn't, because other people's opinions of you are absolutely none of your business. They don't shape you, they don't make you, they don't create you. You create yourself, and that is like one of the biggest tips. However, not a single girl will listen to it, and then they will realize why, because I did the same thing. But I also say, like, soak up the time that you have in the public.